Okay, knife sharpening. This is a Xylite Damascus chef knife that needs a touch up, really. Just it doesn't really need that much sharpening because it's my daily driver basically. But a couple of things about sharpening. I use stones, diamond plates of different grits. Made this bit of leather on a 2x4 with some jeweler's rouge on it here to just strop knives. Give that a bit of a coating with this stuff, and that just takes the burr off the edge. Sharpening stones, whatever you use, make sure those things are flat. If they're dished out to use and stuff, you'll never get a sharp knife because you don't have a flat surface to grind on, right? So what I do is I make a pattern out of just with a pencil, and then you grab a cheap bench stone. You can get these at the Homeless Despot or whatever you choose, and you rub this guy on the bench stone, and you can see where it's dished out. You want to make sure that you get the whole pattern off this thing, right? So this is where I've been sharpening mostly, and this has already been taking these other high spots. So you want to make sure that this thing is flat. That also helps you get a slurry, which makes sharpening easier. Now, whether you use oil stones or water stones is preference. I use water stones because when they do clog up, and they do over time, they're easier to clean, and I'm a kind of a messy guy. And I'd rather have my workbench covered in a bit of water than a bunch of oil. So there you go. Now that grid pattern that I just painted on there is gone, almost this little bit there. And we have a slurry going on the stone. So that wasn't intentional. Now to keep the angle, you want to keep the angle on the knife the same throughout, right? So you can get guides to do this. I use my thumb for a guide and a lot of experience, right? So what I do is and try to use the whole stone, not just a bit of it. And the bigger the bench stone is, the easier sharpening becomes because you have more area to run the knife over. Making sure that this thing stays sort of wet. And it should be even on both sides. Now, it doesn't matter whether you do 100 strokes on one side and 97 on the other, but somewhere around there. You know, you don't have to actually count them. Oh, hello, Olive. Chicken coming to visit. What are you doing back there, Olive? Now you do that until you pick up a burr on one side, and then turn the knife around and get rid of the burr, and so on. So this is a 3000 grit stone. Olive, come here. Come here, chick. There. Say hello. Say hello. There you go. I don't have anything. Alright? So, I'm going to move up to as I said, this one only needs a touch up. But you can start off with a rougher grid, 400, 500, or so if you got nicks and dings and that need to be taken off. And then you go to a stone that is somewhat finer. Got one in here somewhere. This guy, same thing. Make sure it's flat. Yeah, I know. You're not going to lay an egg in here, are you? There we go. That's good enough for us for now. Now you can't help here. When you start off with this, your first few attempts, get yourself a cheap knife. Don't go hacking away at a high-end chef's knife for practicing. And there is that. Now I use to finish it off. This is a 10,000 grit diamond plate, and well, the chicken finds this stuff boring. And on that you can either use some soapy water, I use this window cleaner stuff. Yeah. And keeping the same angle that you had on the other plate, or on the other stone. And it doesn't take much of this. Last but not least, run that over this strop quickly. And then, in theory, you should end up with a sharp knife. Right? I know the onions in my kitchen are already shivering in their boots. I've got one that I've neglected a little bit, my Deba, that needs a good old going over, and we'll do that in one of these videos. This was really rusty. I went at it now with a sander, and these are a whole different kettle of fish sharpening than these, and these get a lot sharper. Same goes for these here. They are evil little buggers once sharpened. There we have that. The basics of knife sharpening. Any questions, put that down in the doobly thingamabob underneath, and I'll try to answer them either in writing or we'll knock up another video. There you go.